artist and what that music means. We going deep on you. Deeper Dives Dialogue Unlimited. The Splash Specialist and Dive Instructor. Let's get it, because it's about to get deep. Straight to the point. All day and day. You dig? Yeah,
Keep
buddy.
the groove going. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That deep groove.
All
House
right,
music
all right,
all night
right,
long.
right,
House
right,
music
right,
all night
right.
long.
Bitch.
Yeah. Another Deeper Dives Dialogue Unlimited podcast.
You better tell them.
Episode 30 something or other. Yeah.
Get your mind right.
Mind
Get your
right.
mind right.
Game
Get
time.
your mind right.
On site.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah. We had
Yeah,
to
buddy.
groove on for a second.
Ah.
Sorry we're late, y'all. But we're here nonetheless.
Yeah.
Yeah. Today we're going to talk about some deep-ish the orange years.
Hold up. You said it. But you, speaking of orange, breaking news, y'all. The juice is no more.
Orenthal.
Rest in peace to OJ.
R.I.P. Ride strong in that beautiful white Bronco in the sky.
Word.
Indeed.
Tragic.
Yes, y'all. Yes, y'all. It's tragic. Too soon. Gone too soon. I mean, controversial figure in some people's eyes, but hero in others, and definitely a person of importance and notoriety within the last 30 years or 3 decades, however you want to put it, as far as, legal history and iconic case, civil case, murder case, Johnny Cochran did his thug thizzle.
I mean, and we can't forget the brother's football career. I mean,
yeah. I was working my way backwards towards that, but unstoppable force on the ground, very similar to the late great, rest in peace, Jim Brown.
Indeed.
A lot of history with both of those football organizations that they played for. Both of them went to colleges that were gridiron greats. Syracuse back in the day, Orange Men, Big Jim Brown, and USC, University of Southern California, for Mr. Orenthal James Simpson, better known as the Juice or OJ. Mr. Isotoner. What was it? Hertz Rent-A-Car? He had that was it
Hertz or Avis?
Avis one. I might have been Avis. Good point. Yeah, might have been.
One of them.
Yeah, man. Rushing through the airport, literally running, carrying what was he carrying in that commercial?
I don't remember, dog. It was so long ago. I couldn't even tell you.
Are we that old? Nah.
I'm classic. I ain't old. Classics don't get old, my brother.
Indeed. Classic, nostalgic,
all that.
Eclectic.
Word.
Ever growing and changing, yo. But thanks for joining us, y'all. Like, share, subscribe. Like, share, subscribe.
Please do.
Check us out on rumble.com. Also, join our locals channel.
All that.
I'm saying.
And a bag of Chips Ahoy.
Mm-hmm.
Word.
Do it. So, we're going to talk about the Orange Years documentary recently released about the Nickelodeon child actors and, the behind the scenes goings on within that industry of entertainment. Tragic.
Very much so.
We're going to briefly explore if there's any correlation between the most current, I guess, Nickelodeon logo in the shape of Little St. James Island, uh, owned by one Mr. Deceased Jeffrey, the P word Epstein. Yeah, yeah. So,
Mm.
uh, where do we begin, man? Where do we begin?
Very carefully.
Why very carefully, sir?
Facts. Man, we talking about kids,
Indeed,
minors, for real.
indeed, indeed,
Very touchy subject.
indeed.
Brother Jay says yuck.
Yuck, yuck, yuck.
Mm.
We don't mean it funny
Man,
style.
nah, this is disgusting all the way around, B. I mean, but nonetheless, again, with everything that has been transpiring over the past few, I mean, hell, you could just say decades. I mean, little peeps of things have been coming out here and there. And with this being the information age, more and more stuff is leaking out allegedly. And I mean, with the documentary that has came out, I myself haven't seen. Well, I shouldn't even say documentary because it's like a 4-part series, I guess. I
Yeah,
myself haven't seen it, but I've heard enough about it to feel like I've seen it. The visuals that are in my mind alone, and from what I've seen on YouTube videos, I believe it's called what, Quiet on the Set.
yep.
And yeah, it's not looking good. And I mean, the dude himself, what did he did? Wasn't he an actor himself?
I think at one point in time, and they
Wasn't he on
brought
that
him in
show
as
Head of the
yeah.
Was he on that show Head of the Class back in the day with Robin Givens?
You know what? Good question. Let me check that out. Let's see here. Let's check out the IMDb or whatever they have. He was. He played Dennis.
Bong. I knew that dude's face from somewhere. I'm like, that name sounded familiar too, but yeah, tragic.
Howard Hessman, uh,
Howard, yeah, he was a teacher.
teacher. Yeah, man.
Yeah, disgusting, bruh.
Utterly, utterly disturbing. But yeah, man. So quiet on the set. Let's see. Quiet on the set. Let's see here. I just had it up. Okay. Yeah, producer Dan Schneider was accused of inappropriate behavior on his Nickelodeon shows, including asking female employees for massages on set. Some also argued that the shows he worked on featured disturbing sexual innuendos not suitable for young viewers, which I always said that uh, when viewing certain programming on Nickelodeon. Never liked my kids to watch that or Disney, but that's a whole nother topic for another day.
Up
Uh,
next, allegedly.
yeah, man. So, you know, interestingly enough, I included in some of our promos for the program today, Suffer the Little Children, excerpt from a biblical scripture. Christ, of course, was using it in its sense of allow the little children to approach him, as they all as adults should approach the kingdom as having the mind of a child. But the word suffer can also mean to experience harm. And these child actors obviously experienced harm. Some of them actually alleged that there was encouragement and almost an oppressive energy to force them to enact or reenact or not reenact, what's the word, yeah, enact sexual, you know, context and acts with and engage in sexual acts or simulated sexual acts on set. You know, this is some perverse stuff, man.
Beyond.
You know, uh and everyone, not everyone, let me rephrase, a lot of viewers, I heard one YouTuber, she was saying how she thought they had the perfect life, all what she wouldn't give to be in that position. But, you know, I think she, pretty sure she has rethought that since a lot of this information has come forward, man. I mean,
Definitely.
this is insane. I mean, this has affected people that we grew up watching, like Raven Simone, Orlando Brown, um, Zach Efron. I'm trying to think. It's been a while since I've really even been a viewer of Nickelodeon, except for here and there when my kids wanted to watch, Hey
Word.
Jesse, and a couple other shows. But you know, mm, interesting title, because Quiet on the Set is something they say when they're getting ready to start filming or shooting, whether it be live or for recorded, um, you know, broadcast. But these people felt like their voices were silenced. They didn't have any type of protection. A lot of their contracts were presented with non-disclosure agreements, NDAs, so that any help that they would seek out, they couldn't seek out.
Why would you give a minor a non-disclosure agreement for a?
Yes, I mean,
That right there sound weird.
beyond weird. I mean, it sounds predatory. Let's keep it 100.
Because that's exactly what that is.
Yeah, man. It is grooming 101, but on a larger scale, an organizational scale.
Yeah.
Makes me ask, how often is this type of thing going on? How often is this type of thing going on?
More often than not. I mean, let's think back, bruh. We look back at, we can take it back to as far as the Corey Hames and the Corey Feldmans.
Ooh.
You know what I'm saying? And look at they've been, how they were saying how jacked up things were back then. You know what I'm saying? Where to the point where, and this was back when things were a whole lot, for a sake of better words, looser. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So things were a whole lot different back then than they were at this time. So imagine everything that they went through.
I can't even. Oh man.
I mean, but just think about it, bro. You got them. Remember the dude, what's his name? Chad Allen.
Mm.
Ain't
Yeah.
nobody heard from him in forever.
Forever, ever.
Um, I mean, all the kid actors, you know what I'm saying? From back in the early to late 80s, man. I mean, the ones that are still here,
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not saying, I mean, like people say, oh, they're crazy. You know what? Now that we think about it, they ain't crazy. They just been through some shit.
Some heavy shit, bro. Um, I pulled up this Vanity Fair article just wanted to share a little of this with the audience. So the Oscars Inside 2024's biggest races. But underneath this is Quiet on the Set uncovers abuse allegations at Nickelodeon, raises deeper issues. The docuseries subtitled The Dark Side of Kids TV will change how you look at some of Nickelodeon's biggest hits, particularly the work of super producer Dan Schneider. This article is by Eve Beatty. Shout out Eve Beatty, March 14th of 2024. So this was last month, but news coverage of toxic workplaces often trace the issues to a single powerful leader, but that's not the case in Quiet on the Set, The Dark Side of Kids TV, the four-part docuseries about alleged exploitation, abuse, and worse perpetrated by adult Nickelodeon employees, which premieres on ID at 9 p.m. That was already aired. I'm sorry. Sunday, March 17th is when it aired originally. It isn't a neat and tidy package, though that might frustrate viewers looking for someone to blame by its design. Complexity is important to us as filmmakers, co-director Emma Schwartz says. I hope the viewer is left to puzzle it through and put some pieces together. Brilliant. Sometimes that's how you have to put it out there. People can draw their own conclusion. They don't feel like they're eating up a narrative or regurgitating false information or bits and pieces of information here and there. But by likely most of you have seen the headlines and about what might be the show's biggest bombshell. Drake Bell, the star of Turn of the Millennium series, such as Drake and Josh and the Amanda Show, gives a searing interview in Quiet on the Set's third episode, in which he details a pattern of sexual abuse he says he suffered at the hands of Nickelodeon dialogue coach. This is the guy, Brian Peck. Those allegations against Peck are nothing new, as his 2003 arrest was significant enough to warrant a press release from the Los Angeles Police Department. Now, that's the part that kills me, bro. This dude already priors as a sex offender. As with most cases of sexual assault, especially those involving minors, the survivor, should I have said S-A. Let's follow the trend, I guess, on this one thing, just to be safe. Let me recant. Yeah, S.A., especially those involving minors. The survivor of Peck's attack was kept anonymous at the time. Insiders at Nickelodeon may have known that Bell's testimony is why Peck was convicted and sentenced to 16 months in prison and made to register as a S offender in October 2004. But this series is the first time the rest of us will hear from Bell about his experiences. Check that out, y'all. Y'all really need to hear what he has to say. Bell is just one of the first former child stars Schwartz and co-director Mary Robertson spoke with for Quiet on the Set. And social media footage of a present-day celebrity, they say, is what first caught the filmmaker's attention. Whew. Now, this is one that's coming up in this article that's about to be mentioned that I have always seen as tremendously disturbing. Whenever they try to promote an image of any celebrity that has a childlike appearance and where they dress them, you know what I'm saying, in between a provocative youth and less discriminate adult, like with less, they dress with less discretion. And I don't mean like for a video shoot or just a photo shoot where that's the aim or the goal to promote that side of them, but they constantly keep this particular image in circulation, and they constantly wardrobe this person in that way. so that there's this childlike appearance in everything that they do. Now, it's one thing to promote the innocence of an individual that has that captivating quality, right? But it's another thing when it's overtly pushed to develop some sort of twisted fascination. And I'm saying whether it be a male or a female or anything in between. You know what I'm saying? That's problematic. But do you have any thoughts on that?
It's beyond problematic. I mean, when you try to keep a child, when you have an adult one dressed like a child in a role, I mean, I get it. Some of these roles may call for a younger teenager or something like that,
Hmm.
and you have to have somebody who's not a minor play that role.
Right.
But when you keep that person in that role, like, let's just say, like, for the duration of said show, with like no, like, they don't age, I should say, like, just keep them looking like prepubescent or something like that. Those are the words I'm looking for, and that's just beyond disturbing.
Hmm.
Uh, I mean, it's not just beyond disturbing, but it's, bro, I really can't even give you words for that because it's sick.
Let me take you even further down the spiral. States like Georgia, for example, where teenagers have been incarcerated because of consensual relationships that they had with other teens because of a 2-year age difference. So obviously, that wouldn't be a place where you could even film certain episodes or even entire seasons of material or content where you would have an actor that's playing the role of a 17-year-old, for example, but is actually 26. And their love interest is actually 16 or 17 years old in real life. And like you couldn't have, like, for example, public displays of affection. I'm gonna keep it safe between the two, right? Like, what do you do? Do you green screen that, or do you just make sure you have actors that are really close in age, even if they appear younger? Like, these are things that I would ask in my mind, and I just never heard anybody else really discuss it or think about it. But those things always like disturbed me. You know what I mean? Like, I know acting is acting, but where do you draw the line with what's appropriate in real life? Is there a line? I would think there is.
Yeah, but here's something else though.
Hmm.
And I want to say, I don't know if we spoke on this on camera or off camera, but something like that you gotta think of too. The region of the country you said, the South. Now, again, after moving down here, down south, I've noticed that there's a lot of things that are different than other parts of the country. And ain't nothing wrong with it. I mean, I get it. So I'm not knocking anybody because, hell, that's where all of our people came from, basically. You know what I'm saying?
Pretty much.
So And a lot of those customs were taken
Mm-hmm.
all across the country.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So,
For
but
sure.
I say that to say that in some parts of the South, the legal age of consent could be 16 or 17. So there's that gray area of things too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, there can be a bit of a gray area. I agree with that as well. Uh, but I think that's where the family steps in, and it seems like, not seems like, there have been stated recently by certain child actors, former child actors, um, that their parents allowed certain things to go on even when they were present on set, or slightly offset but present. I gotta find the one child actor. She wrote a book.
You talking about the McCurdy girl?
I'm glad my mom is dead, or something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
that's man, to feel like that, and you gotta understand why. I don't care who you are.
Yeah, but I mean, from the way she was describing everything, it was just like basically she was just like under her mom's, I don't want to say influence, because it kind of seemed like it was just like, yo, you gonna do this shit whether you want to or not, because I'm telling you to do this. And don't quote me on this, but it was kind of like you're following the dream that I had and I couldn't do it, so now you're gonna follow this because it's something that I wanted to do. Again, don't quote me, because I'm not quite sure if that's it, but that's kind of how I took it.
I mean, it was that way when I from what I saw and heard. I
Okay.
saw the same thing
Oh,
you did,
okay.
and it put me in the mind of what Judy Garland said she had to go through. That's recently come out not too long ago. I mean, some of us have known longer than others. When I was a kid watching those old Hollywood flicks with Shirley Temple, I mean, why is she sitting on the strange man knee? I understand it's a movie role, but certain things it's going on for real. You know, it's almost like when you learn about S scenes in certain R-rated movies that you saw, there was a sheet or a towel or a rag in
Yeah,
between
it was there were
sensitive
props.
parts.
It wasn't really good. What you thought was going on wasn't really going on.
Right. And then you got things like, movies like Monsters Ball where the envelope is pushed. And you got people like, man, I think that was really happening, you know. And some people are like, okay, cool. And other people are like, yo, that's disturbing, because it's like those two people would not likely ever come together in that way consensually. So what's really
Yeah,
going
but
on? Then you
if
find out
but
about
if
Weinstein
that's the
and the
case,
casting couch and
yeah, if that's the case, then there was some graping going on.
right. And what would be worse? Well, there's probably, yeah. What would be worse than being raped while being filmed in a major production?
Just to get a good shot and a good scene and reaction.
Yeah, and I mean, you got, the world is just a wild place. That's a whole nother show. I almost went somewhere, but I'm gonna save that. Yo, look, Vanity Fair. This next part is what I was getting at when I brought up that whole keeping that nymph-like, childlike image where someone has become an adult, and just promoting that imagery of them sexualized while still with the semblance of innocence present. Um, but yeah, they said several years ago we noticed a proliferation of videos online. Robertson says there's one clip that I'll never forget of Ariana Grande upside down on the side of a bed, pouring water on herself in a manner that many believe is quite sexual. The Grande footage came from Victorious, a Nickelodeon series that premiered in 2010 when Grande was 16, and its web exclusives. But those clips were just a small portion of the seemingly innuendo-laden excerpts from shows on the network, most from series created by powerful writer and producer Dan Schneider. This guy recently just gave one of the weakest apologies I've ever read or even heard read, um, for asking for massages on set and making inappropriate jokes, and for other complaints about his behavior. Responding to the claims of sexualizing young actors, he said the jokes were written for a kid audience because kids thought they were funny.
Boy, stop.
Come on, man. Come on.
Man. I just want to know how the real interview was, because I think that shit was scripted.
For the docuseries or
Period. The only reason why I say that is because the person that was interviewing him, I went to high school with homie. And
name?
Boogie. I ain't gonna say his real name because he didn't give his real name. But
like Bo?
Huh?
Bo?
Yeah.
Oh, that's my guy. Yeah.
Yeah, I went to high school with him. So
right, yeah,
and I
did.
know how he is. And even before he got famous, he always been a cool, down to earth dude. And he was the type of person, he'll tell you what he think.
Yeah.
Off rip. He's not gonna hold nothing back.
Yeah.
So
for sure.
in something like this, on something real, with something like this, if he think you bullshit, he gonna be like, man, stop lying. Come on now. And to be as animated as he really is,
yeah, man.
for him to be as, you know what I'm saying? I get it. It was
you
for
made,
TV.
You made me
proud
just mentioning my guy, man.
He's
always kept it 100. He's always been the same.
And no matter how big he got or whatever, he always remembered. You know what I'm saying? If you see him out, he gon' reach out and be himself to you in public, regardless of who he's with.
Experience the same. Yeah, the same. I mean, I could call out a few instances, not just a couple, a few in Columbus when he came back.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Shooting the movie, a VIP, like, what, you coming? Like, word? Yeah, for sure.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So
yeah, absolutely, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. It's tragic though, to have to deal with this. I mean, it's scum buckets, man. Like it makes me question: is Dan Schneider really even that creative? Which is a whole nother issue altogether. How do you get into that position, and then how do you? I mean, I know energy attracts like energy, right? But man, like it's like these people have a calling card, and it's just like a I hate to even use that particular set of birds, but like a flock of crows or something, or a flock of carrion birds of any sort that just lets prey on these innocent, naive, moldable, talented, gifted people.
Well, I mean, you said it. I mean, you couldn't have put that in a more perfect way to say that when you said birds and prey, because birds of a feather flock together.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, The only thing that I think happened was either he didn't quite get caught doing what the other dude did, or allegedly alley-ooped it to the other dude. Allegedly.
Yeah. I mean, speaking of which, just to cover this ground, apparently, Snopes had put out an article not long ago about the shape of the new Nickelodeon logo. It's like a different type of splatter, and the shape of Little St. James, which is the island that Epstein was in control of all those years. And apparently, it's false. That's not where the inspiration comes from, allegedly. But who's to say? We all get inspired by various visual aids to produce content, to create, or to what's the word I'm looking for? Transform one image into another because it reminds us of something or spurs us in our imagination to uh, create a variety within that said um, template or image. But it is an eerie resemblance, one must admit. And then the other crazy dark connection is the amount of children that were being transported to and from that island from various countries for the purpose of trafficking. And this man was a convicted um, pedophile, a convicted um, child abuser. Let's put it that way. And man, there I saw a brief documentary on YouTube that was discussing or divulging this information that the people who were in the Virgin Islands that were responsible for like the ferry boats, for lack of a better word, they tried to make a deal with them to bring these children back and forth without any documentation of them being on their boats. I mean, there's beyond just the obvious risks and dangers with that, but you're talking about possibly never being seen again. Oh, the boat capsized. Oh, the waves got choppy and they fell overboard. We couldn't save them. It's just too much convenience with that. But the people were called the Alexanders. That was their last name. They refused to do it, and they tried to report it multiple times. It's like you already know how far up this has to go. There's already the allegations that he was possibly a member of one of the alphabet agencies, working a program on their behalf. So you mean to tell me, and I mean, of course, I'm not naive, but you mean to tell me that this so-called agency is willing to crack a few eggs in order to make an omelet? Once again, suffer the little children. Why do the little children have to suffer? Why do the innocent have to be lost? And this ties into a whole deeper, darker conspiracy, and it's beyond theory because there's authors galore. Some of them have been labeled conspiracy theorists, but if you follow the money and if you follow the breadcrumbs that they have left, you will see that this is a big, dark, ugly cabal, group, whatever you want to call it, of people that we call celebrities and politicians and all of these other professions, what they profess to be, but in fact, what they are predators of the worst kind, destroyers of life, destroyers of youth, destroyers of mental health. You know, Like you said, these people have been through some shit. Stop calling Orlando Brown crazy. Does he have challenges? Don't you have challenges? Doesn't
Yeah.
he? Doesn't
If
he have
he
the right
went
to
through
express?
half of what these people, if he went through anything of what these people on this docu-series went through, it ain't challenges, brother. It's not. Well, it is challenges because it would be challenging to continue to keep going through life, having to go through this shit that you done been through. It ain't challenges. It's post-traumatic stress syndrome.
Oh, for sure,
Flat the
PTSD,
fuck out. That's what that shit is.
anxiety disorder. I mean, when you see a person continue to look almost as if nothing's going on with them on the surface, but they're moving from pillar to post, staying with friend to loved one to friend to loved one, and falling out with these people, or the people falling out with them. You're looking at a lot because people saw him in his glory. They seen Major Pain. They seen That's So Raven. You know what I mean? In any of the other works that he's done, very
He was on
talented.
Family Matters for a minute too, wasn't he? Wasn't he
Yeah,
3J?
yes,
Yeah.
he was. Yes, he was. Absolutely. Um, brother can sing. The brother can rap. When he's together more so than not, he can dress, which I know you could appreciate. He's got his own flair for fashion, but the thing is, when people keep crying out, and instead of a headline, people start to hear them, and people start to take action. Shout out to those who brought uh, legal action, against Brian Peck, against Dan Schneider. Your apology is weak. It's not enough. Uh, I know I don't want my kids viewing anything that you've been behind, because there's an undercurrent and an energy there with it. So to each their own. To each their own. I wish I could support the Nickelodeon network, but obviously I was right in the first place. Not that I'm
Bruh.
singularly one, but one of my most fond trips was my senior class trip to Orlando, Florida, going to Universal Studios theme park and seeing the live pilots of the Nickelodeon channel. And you know what was the big game type show they had where you had to go through the obstacle course?
Talking about Double Dare?
Oh, there, yeah, it was cool to see that.
Yeah, but you gotta think. Our era was basically for Nickelodeon was basically Double Dare, and you can't do that on
Can't
television.
do that on
That
television.
was a whole other that was a whole other dynamic compared to what this stuff is now, bruh.
But even then, you can't do that on television. Push the line. I
Yeah,
wouldn't be shocked to hear some horror stories
because
surface
it was
soon.
a. I mean
You know?
the title alone, son.
Yeah, indeed, indeed. Yeah,
I mean,
man.
I can't. I went to Universal when I was a senior in high school too, but shit, I wasn't trying to look at nothing on TV. I was too focused on the natives.
Well, the natives were kind of focused on me,
Well,
so
I
I could
mean,
dig
hey,
it.
listen,
I could
hold up,
dig
listen.
it. But
Same way, but hey, I
oh,
got
I
scared.
know. Oh,
I
I
got
know,
scared straight in the airport.
bruh.
Trust me, I got scared straight in the airport. Some dude hit me with this with a pamphlet. He was like, yeah, please be careful. Like, be careful of what? He was like, yeah, HIV and AIDS is crazy around here. Say less.
Indeed, sir.
And that was back when that was right after Easy passed.
Yeah,
Right after. Say
I
less.
think. Yeah,
I'm good.
our trip was around the
I'm
time
good.
right before that, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, a classmate of mine and I remember it was about three three uh three young locals that invited us to just come and live with them. We're like, well, what? Like, yeah, come stay with us, get a job, blah blah blah. Like, we cook for you, we'll do this, we'll do that. I was like, what? It was a whole different world. But back then, even the appearance of innocence just seemed more innocent, even if it wasn't as innocent.
Oh, of course.
So, Nickelodeon, get your act together. Um, get your act together. Stop hiring these um, offenders to work for your organization, your company, around minors. You could be great and successful without that.
That part, and when they get out of jail, they shouldn't be able to get jobs at other places
Not where minors are.
that cater, that not just where they are, but that strictly cater to them.
Well, that's what I mean. Mentally, spiritually, or physically, wherever a child is, they should not have a hand in any of it.
And
They,
they shouldn't get out of jail for something like that, first and foremost.
what they need to do is turn Epstein's Island into a prison colony, like kind of like they did with Australia. Shout out to Australia. I mean no harm, but yeah, uh,
What was the name of his island again?
Little St. James.
Okay, so I got a question. If you have your
Okay.
own island, why the fuck would you name it after a little boy, for one? And then for two, why is it so ironic that, or what is the similarities or the coincidence that you would have little kids imported from the Virgin Islands?
Well, he was bringing them from all over the world.
I get that, but the whole thing is you got an agreement with people from the Virgin Islands to get them with no kind of documentation.
I think
Word.
I think it's more so like this, Mandela. It's more so like this. You own it.
No, I mean, I get everything you're saying. I'm just saying that, but it's like you making it that much of I think it's the whole power dynamic. Oh, well, I can just go to the Virgin Islands and you know what I'm saying? I get everything that you're saying. It's just that you got to have one sick, twisted mind.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying?
I agree. To even figure that out, we're looking into that. I mean, international waters. Let me just drop that.
Right, right.
So different laws, even when there's law over the land, if you own the land and it's within international waters, what does that change up?
Well,
I'm
it
not.
changes up a whole lot of things
Yeah,
because
like legal
quiet is
ages of consent and such and so forth.
it changes more than well, yeah, it does that, but I mean, it
I'm just
changes a
saying.
whole lot of things with laws, period. Because quiet is kept way back in the day. We're just gonna take a little story back. Way back in the day, I had thought about an idea. Well, actually, I think your boy Uncle Luke did it, and this ain't got nothing to do with what we're talking about. This is totally off topic. I
Indeed.
had thought, I had thought way back in the day, like, yo, we should get a boat and have a bunch of strippers on it of legal age, of course, and take it way
Or,
out into the international waters. Do some real freaky deaky stuff on there.
I mean, stranger things have occurred.
But I'm saying, but your boy, he didn't do it. But think about it. Your boy Luke, Uncle Luke, did this with the music.
Yeah.
And that's what made him a freaking genius.
Yeah. Yeah.
Took
Yes,
that boat
indeed.
out there and was playing his music out there on that boat in international waters. Flipped the whole script.
Indeed.
Boss. It's boss.
It is. It was.
Man.
Yeah, man. It's just we had to get on this topic today for y'all, man. Hey, look into more of it for yourself. This has got to stop. Stop causing the children to suffer. They are our future, and that's not a cliche. That is facts. That is reality. That is truth.
Most definitely.
You know what I'm saying? And they should not be discarded, just like our elderly should not be discarded. Two of the most important pillars of our society are the youth and the elders. So stop
Indeed.
abusing either of them. And if we find out you're abusing them, we're not taking it easy on you. And I'm gonna say less on that because I mean, at some point in time, in order for these monsters to get the point, they might have to face some monstrosities themselves.
Or get a point to them.
Hmm. I encourage you all, USA government, build an island, take that island over. We don't need another Guantanamo. We need
I don't know. Listen, I
we
don't know
need
if the
a
government should take that
strictly.
up. I don't know if the government should build that.
Hey, look, they let him buy it. You know, remember there's U.S. Virgin Islands and then there's British Virgin Islands. So there's got to be a level of complicity that must be addressed, and it can't be all blamed on the Prime Minister of the Virgin Islands
Oh,
because
no doubt. No doubt.
she can't control it all herself. It's not all her jurisdiction and say so. So, I mean, look, man, heavy subject. I know y'all like us to keep it light sometimes, even though it's a deeper dive dialogue that is unlimited. But yo, man, I think when you look at Dan Schneider, for example, you have the early makings of an Epstein. I mean, islands are for sale all the time, every day, all day and night. They really are. Uh, so instead of a wonderful resort, whether it be for adult activity or for family activity or child oriented activity only, hey, let's make the world a better place, is all I'm saying.
Word. I'm gonna buy me an island.
Let's
And get
do it.
away from all these niggas.
Oh, wow.
I'm just playing. But I'm gonna buy me an island though, for
Oh,
real.
wow.
Shoot.
I can neither confirm nor deny, agree nor disagree with that statement. It's your thing, and
No,
I definitely feel where you're
we
coming from.
we need we need those in this
Well,
world
not according to Chris Rock. He said
at some point in time.
he said that they make things harder for. Never mind. Another show. Another show.
I'm gonna definitely buy me an island for real, man. Shoot, where I can have my own space.
That is ideal. That would be
For
awesome.
sure.
That would be
No,
awesome. Now, would you
no
share it with
neighbors.
anybody?
Hell no.
You wouldn't let nobody come to your island, man.
Well, what? I'm trying to get away.
From everybody?
See how they feel.
Go to Mars. Become a
Nah,
billionaire.
dog.
Get on the Dragon rocket.
I'm not doing none of that stuff.
What?
I'll let them test that out first and see how that happens.
Dang, I just had a scary thought. I won't even speak that into fruition.
Nah, get me an island, man. Shoot. I might invite a couple of people on there. Adults. No
Indeed.
kids. We ain't doing that.
Kid-free island. That did not see that. That might be awesome.
We ain't doing nothing like that. Nah.
Kid-free island. I mean, it couldn't be that way forever, though. I mean, well, it could.
Yeah, it could, because I'm fixed.
I was gonna say they do have jets, planes, and boats. So yeah, I mean, if you want to get back to the mainland to see people,
I'd have a boat to get me back and forth.
yeah, of course.
Give me a boat to
you could afford an island. Of course, you could afford a damn boat. I already know. Yeah, that makes sense. But
Hey, living proof of deeper dive, living proof of the splash specialist. Shit. Just saying.
indeed, have your splash specialist spayed or neutered. No, I'm just saying you said that. You said it, not me.
Control the pet population. For sure.
Ooh.
For sure.
Yeah, man. But yeah, no Diddy, no Dan Schneider, no Brian Peck, no Pito, no Lolita. Hashtag it all, y'all. Let's shut down child sex trafficking and human trafficking at large.
Word.
You know what I'm saying? It's just
Indeed.
got to stop. Got to stop. Not cool.
Indeed.
Not okay. This has been another Deeper Dives Dialogue Unlimited podcast
Word.
with the dive instructor at Splash Specialist. Anything you want to promote? Like the left leg of Goldtron. Check it out. What time? What day?
Fucking know whenever you put it up. Shit. I think it's Fridays at noon.
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 That's real close to Beyond the Veil at 11:10 a.m. But yeah, man.
Well, shoot, that works out great. That way, after that goes off, it flows right into that one.
Hey,
bong and bong.
we gonna hit them anyway. We're gonna hit them at all
If we
times.
don't hit you, if
all
we
the
don't hit
days.
you together, we gonna hit
Yeah.
you separate.
Yeah. Get that content, y'all. We putting it out there for you. You know, like, share, subscribe, comment, donate, whatever you feel. You know what I'm saying? Schwebel Room Media. Shout out to the Schwebel Room crew. That's us. That's 3PMD, Old Man Ally, Ed 10, Beat Down Brown, Old Painless, Miss Kiki.
Everybody
in there. Everybody in there.
Again, check out all the shows too, because we got a grip. We got chat. We about to be the Schwebel Room streaming network.
Conglomerate.
Church. For sure.
All right, y'all. Peace, love, and see you next week.